13. Now this is just barely been announced, of course, but it's going to be coming sometime later this year, and it will be available all over the world. US specifically, it will have the 5 major carriers. We don't know about pricing or specific availability quite just yet. There will be 2 different core models. You'll have the Exynos octa-core version, and then you'll have this one that we're checking out here. It's just the Snapdragon 800, 2.3 gigahertz, by the way. The octa-core, we've been told, will be 1.9 gigahertz in terms of clock speed. Now, as you can see, it's TouchWiz at its finest. If you've used the Note 2 or really any other Galaxy device running TouchWiz, there's absolutely it's absolutely the same kind of user interface. So just giving you a little bit of a tour, we're going to go deeper into some of the different feature improvements that we'll see on the Note 3. First of all, let's go over the actual design itself. Now, as you can tell, it's going to be a little bit different from the Samsung Galaxy Note 2. It is a little bit thinner, it's a little bit narrower, and it's a little bit taller in terms of the display. Now, this is a 5.7-inch Full HD 1080p display. It's Super AMOLED. So this is certainly nothing new to anyone who's used a Samsung before in terms of the type of display that it is. Now, comparing it to the Galaxy Note 2, as you can tell, you get a little bit larger screen, but you're actually not looking at any sort of additional width. It's, in fact, just barely narrower. And then, of course, it's a little bit taller as well. Now, taking a look at how the device is set up, you have the volume rocker here. Of course, on the sides you have the chrome look. It's all plastic. It's not aluminum, and they have like vertical lines right here. It's supposed to mimic a closed book. On the top, you have the 3.5mm jack with a IR. Also, you have the power button. So not much going on in terms of actual buttons on the outside or on the edges. And then, of course, here you have your S Pen dock, your speaker, and micro USB, along with USB 3.0 support. So that's very important to take a look at. On the front, you have the capacitive buttons here on the bottom with the hardware button right here, the hardware home button. The capacitive screens also work with the S Pen. And then, of course, on top, we also have the 2-megapixel frontward-facing camera with the earpiece and the sensors. And then on the back, you'll see some stitches here on the outside. This is actually a faux leather material here. It actually feels quite nice, especially compared to the glossy plastic that we've had on the previous Note and many of the other Galaxy devices that we played around with. The camera is 13 megapixel with the LED flash. And then let's open this up so you can see what's inside. And it's got a micro SIM slot and a micro SD slot just stacked on top of each other. And that's how it looks. And the battery is 3,200 milliamp hours. So it's a slight improvement over the Note 2 in that sense. All right, so taking a look at the software itself, there are a few feature improvements. Of course, Samsung loves to throw in additional features into its latest and greatest phones. So this here, you have the S Pen. That's nothing new. This one's actually a little bit more difficult to take out than the Note 2, at least at first. We might, after some time, get used to it, and it might be a little bit easier in that sense. Pulling out the S Pen brings up this Air Command menu. This is a little bit less invasive, a little bit nicer than the Note 2 setup, which was just the full screen showing up. So we like this look. A little bit easier to navigate around, and then if you want to get rid of it, then you can. If you want to bring it up, you just hover the pen over, press the button, and boom, you're in. Now, to just go over a few of these different things, for example, you have a pen window. And what you do here is you draw a square or rectangle, and you have several different miniature screens that you can choose from. So you bring up the phone, and you have a tiny, tiny screen there. And we'll do this with a few more. Oh, Okay, so we got the calendar in the phone. So one thing about this is you maximize it if you need it, if you need it to be bigger, or you can minimize it, and it has a little circle. This actually looks very similar to the chat heads if you've played around with that feature on Facebook before. And then you can move them around wherever you want. Another feature improvement is in the multi-window space. Multi-window is one of our favorite features that was introduced last year, and one of the nice improvements here is that you can actually take the same app and have two different instances of that app. So if you have two different websites that you want to take a look at, then you can easily have both of those popped up at the same time. Another nice feature is the drag and drop. So you can take, let's say for example, a picture and drag it down and throw it into a message. This of course will have third-party developer support. So if you have an app of your own, you can certainly throw this in and have the same kind of functionality for drag and drop. Same thing goes with using the two instances of the same app on the multi-window. Okay. Now, one other nice software feature is when you slide up, you have access to the magazine app. Now, this is, if you're familiar with the HTC One, you'll notice that this is very similar to the Flipboard functionality, but there are certainly a lot of differences here. For example, you have a panel here for news category, personal, here and now, and social. You also have here on the top right corner, if you need access to some of your most popular or most favorite applications, these icons here actually mimic the bottom bar. So whatever you have in the bottom bar will show up here, so that way you can just go straight into making calls if you need it. So in terms of the magazine app, the personal, news, all of these, you can certainly change the order, you can add different sites, and you can have certainly a lot of different services to choose from. So for example, you have Flickr, you have Tumblr, even Google+, which is quite nice, and then your usuals like Twitter and Facebook. We'll have plenty more details on our hands-on post at Engadget.com, where we go into deeper detail on all these different features. So this is just a brief overlook on some of the biggest feature changes or enhancements. Now this is running Android 4.3. It is also compatible with the new Galaxy Gear, which has also been announced by Samsung here at IFA 2013. And of course we'll have a hands-on where we're going to look more into the various features on the Galaxy Gear as well.